Welcome to the first training video of the season. Season that we didn't think was going to happen, or at least we had our doubts about. So I think we're just happy to get back on the field 2 weeks later, but 2 weeks later is better than never. So just some things we want to look at. Reminders, some off-season training, and some points of emphasis, new mechanics and rules, stuff like that. So we'll just roll right into it. Alright, we've had a point of emphasis, at least statewide, the last couple of years, and that is hurdling on PAT field goal. But remember, there is an exception to the rule. Well, I wouldn't really call it an exception. It's written right in the rule book, 222, where if anything other than one or both feet are on the ground, then it's not a hurdling. So let's look at an example. We're going to look at right here, I think. Yeah, so on the surface, this will look like pretty textbook hurdling, right? Except notice we have hands on the ground. Either one or both. It's hard to tell. I can't tell right there. But when those hands go on the ground like that, then you don't have hurdling anyway. And then it's hard to tell, too, if he's going through the gap. Because we don't like, using his back, other player's back to kind of vault yourself over. But either way, a hand goes on the ground, then hurdling is off the table, and that's right there in the rule book, 222. It says any part of the body other than hand or ground, then you don't have hurdling. So that's why hurdling is off the table on this particular instance. That's why a lot of times on field goal you'll see them just kind of snap down without putting their hand on the ground. But in this case, you see they put their hand on the ground, so they can hurdle right over on that. Obviously, we still don't like it. This is still a safety issue, but it's definitely illegal. Alright, this is a crew of 7. But I would also say the same thing about crew of 6. We said umpires and back judge and crew of 7, we like to come onto the field. That's the mechanic, ball's kicked, you come out in the middle of the field. On plays like this where you have a short kick or a little low drive kick directly to one of those frontline players. Let me try to go a wider view. We don't necessarily want you to come on the field on that side. So you see the umpire right here. And he does a good job of just staying off the field, because here we just want you to be in a position where you can see what happens. Do your normal thing where you're looking, cage or straining line. But after that, just get in a position to where you can see what happens rather than worry about coming onto the field. Because what we don't want this ball hitting the player, going up in the air, coming back here, and then you might kind of be in the middle of stuff. Wider is better. So when you read that there's a low line drive kick like that to the front line, just kind of take a pause, read the action on the field before you react. So in this case, there's really nothing to react about. He recovers. Same thing with the deeps, and I would say this crew of 6, crew of 7. Kind of pause, read what's going on, and just try and officiate from there. Because if you have to react to something that's real close, like whether or not he muffs it, there's a recovery. Really don't want your eyes moving too much. So just kind of take a pause, read the trajectory of the ball, what's going on, and react from there. Here's another similar situation. This is later in the game. Here you got the Pooch Kick. Same thing here with deeps and umpire. Just kind of take a second to read what's going on and just get in a position here to where you can read if this is going to be a muff or a clean recovery or whatnot. Because short kick like this, it's on the deeps. It's on you. As far as blocks go, that would be opposite deeps on this side. We can help that. Umpire, same thing. Just kind of pause, read and react what's going on, and get in a position where you can watch these blocks, but stay safely out of the way in case it comes back your way. For this, just want to. Oh, never mind. This is the same type of play. This is just gonna be a pop-up kick, or not pop-up kick, pooch kick, just a wee bit deeper. Same thing. Umpire come on the field just a little bit. Does a good job there. Just come on the field enough where he can kind of read and see what's going on. Back judge would like you running onto the field a little bit more, get better position. But deep over here, you're just going to kind of work your way down to get read and react, to get in a position where you can see if this is cleanly fielded. But yeah, same thing. Just a lot of this, when you have those short kicks on a kickoff, a lot of it's just read and react. Mechanics are a little different. We just want you to be in this position where you can see what's going on, but also still kind of stay out of harm's way. Alright, let's look at some more kickoffs. So we had the mechanics change this year, where we were going in kind of areas of coverage rather than keying off an individual player. Just want to break it down a little bit. One crew of 7, one crew of 6. This would be a crew of 7. Just a regular kickoff. This one goes deep and is returned. So before we kick, let's talk about deeps and umpire. Deeps, you're going to get about midway between the numbers and the hash to your sideline. Umpire here, you got about midfield to halfway between the hash and the numbers. Back judge, midfield to about halfway between the hash and numbers. And field judge, you're going to get halfway between the hash and numbers to your sideline. There's going to be some overlap in that coverage, and that's okay. We recognize that. And then wings and referee. Wings, you got hash to sideline, about 25 to 30 down. Referee, you got everything in the middle between the hashes, about 25 to 30 down. And line judge, same thing on your side, hash to sideline. If you have more than one player in your area, you just want to officiate the threat. Or if you have no players in your area, maybe you want to peek over and officiate a threat here. So this would be in the back judge's area of coverage. This threat right here. So we have an engagement right here. As you can see, field judge probably don't really have anyone in your area, so you can sneak over here and kind of keep a lookout as this as well. Line judge, maybe you just want to sneak over here and see what's going on with this player. Looks like he's got something on his mind. So we got the engagement here. We're just watching it. Referee, if you want to watch this engagement, or he can sneak over here and look at this, since there's not much going on here. So there's going to be overlap, and that's fine. We recognize that, and that's okay. You see, he clears it. We're going to come back and talk about that horse collar, don't worry. Crew of 6, this one's also returned. So just before we kick off, zones area coverage not much different. A crew of 6. It's a little bit easier because in a high school field, the hashes evenly divide the football field, so everything's equidistant. So umpire, you're going to take everything in between the hashes to about 30 to 25. Referee's going to take it as well, everything in between the hashes. Field judge, you got hash to sideline. Side judge, hash to sideline, and so forth. Nothing changes for referees and wings. So again, we're just talking about engagement. We're looking at the engagements. So this guy, he pretty much clears. So we're just kind of peeking, making sure everything's good. It's like all the actions really happen in the middle of the field or over here. You have a kick over to the side. So field judge, if you want to shift over and take a peek over here, see what's going on, you can certainly do so. Remember, you're just keeping your zone. Got a lot of good feedback about this last Friday. A lot of officials said they liked it. And then a lot of officials even admitted, yeah, I was kind of doing it anyway, which is fine. So I think it went well. Didn't see anything too egregious going on across the state. All right, let's go back and talk about this horse collar. We said we would. So I will admit, I up until Sunday, I was not convinced this was a horse collar. And then I was told I was too technical, and I saw the error in my ways, and I'm now on the side of this is a horse collar. I'll tell you my reasoning real quick, just because the wording of the rules says the player has to be pulled to the ground, in my opinion. So I did not see that. It's just a quick yank. His momentum takes him. You see he even kind of stutter stops right there. Looks like his pants and knee pads are illegal, by the way. But so to me, I was not on the side of this as a horse collar. Like I said, the error of my ways have been seen. So I'll tell you why. Spirit of the rule. Safety foul, spirit of the rule. It also is in the case book. Take that for what you want. But if we want to call this, we want to keep these players safe. We want to get these players out of the habit of grabbing that area altogether. We don't want players grabbing in that area. I know this is kind of a desperation move. He's not doing it on purpose. He's just trying to get anything he can. But he does get the nameplate area at least, if not hand fully inside the shoulder pad. And he pulls them backwards. His knees are buckled, change of direction. So this is a horse collar tackle. Please call it throughout the state if we see it. There's another kind of spirit of the rules safety foul we'll get to here in a minute as well. But like I said, do not be too technical on that. This is one of those, you probably follow this under keep it simple, stupid. Looks like a foul. Probably is. Looks like a horse collar tackle. And it is. Alright. Alright, let's shift gears to scrimmage kicks. I'm going to watch the action here at the bottom. Right in front of the line judge. Remember, the rule stipulates that if a player goes out of bounds on his own, he cannot return. But if he's forced out, then as long as he returns as soon as he can, then he's okay. This, to me, counts as a force out. You can see he's engaged by the defender or the R player right there. He's pushed, and that push is ultimately what drives him out of bounds. But then he kind of goes out of the screen, but he comes back in as soon as he can. But the key here is right there at the bottom, he's engaged, he's pushed, and that's ultimately what takes him out of bounds. So that constitutes a force out. So as long as he comes back in his first opportunity, then it's fine. All right, legal formations are a big point of emphasis this year because some of the issues that we had in the playoffs last year. This is a little bit different one than we've been focusing on so much, but you can see the entire line here is off. They're not on the line of scrimmage. This is too much. There's too far in the backfield. You can see space right there between them and the center. So we want them to be clearly on the line of scrimmage here. And this creates an advantage. It's an extra step back for them to do some pass protection. So let's move them up. The crew correctly flags this. See, there goes the flag. Because you know, the whole line pretty essentially had 10 in the backfield on that play. So let's get shaped up a little bit, just to kind of, I know the angle is kind of off, but this is a good formation. This is proper. You know, we can tell he's a back. He's clear. There's space. We're good there. Same thing over here. He's a back. That's clear. We got it. You know, what we don't want him is being too close here, where you really can't tell. But this is good. That may be about as close as you can get and still be clearly considered a back. You know, just think of it as, like, you know, the old saying, you know, if grandma in the stands could tell it was a flag, it's probably a flag. If grandma in the stands doesn't know if that guy's on or off the line of scrimmage, or any Joe Schmo sitting in the stands, if it is not clear that he is on the line of scrimmage or off, then we need to put them in a position where they are. All right, we hear a lot about targeting. Don't hear so much about illegal helmet contact. There is distinction between the two. This is an example of illegal helmet contact, specifically face tackling. And this can be found in Rule 9, I believe, 9.3K maybe. But, you know, targeting is where you're dropping that head and you're leading with the crown of the helmet and initiating the contact above the shoulders. That is targeting. If you lead with the crown of the helmet to any part of the body below the shoulders, that's spearing. Face tackling is a little bit different. You don't see it a whole lot, but face tackling is when you're coming in and you initiate the tackle with your, really essentially your face mask, the front of your face, particularly when it is above the shoulders. And that's when it's above the shoulders and when we really have some problem with it. If you're doing it kind of in the chest, torso area, or whatever, I kind of take that as a case-by-case basis. But this is for the protection of the tackler. Because if he's coming in, you know, really leading with that face mask like he is here, he's going to get hurt. A lot of neck injuries, concussion. So that's what you have here. This is an example of face tackling. As you can see when you slow it down, I mean, he really leads and initiates a contact with his face mask to the player's helmet. You know, this is not, you know, we're not looking for the traditional form of tackling where you really say stick your face mask in his chest. That's different, because when you do that, it's a whole body initiation. This is coming in full tilt with the face mask to helmet and initiating the contact there. This was flagged. It's a good flag. So good job there by recognizing one we don't see a whole lot. Here's another example of a good flag. As you can see, number 44 right here, he's just gonna, you know, come in with a helmet and just initiate it with helmet, no wrap up. He's just going to kind of lay his helmet in there. So we want to flag that. And again, this kind of goes back to the horse collar tackle we just saw. We want to eliminate this style. We want to eliminate this action completely. We don't want players coming in here and just helmet like that. And then he trying to throws his left arm out there. It's kind of, as an aside, really. The brunt of the contact here was with the helmet, really leading him to the crown. Don't get why he did it. There's really no reason to do it. So, there's a good flag there. Good job by the covering official on that one. Alright, let's talk about keys on a scrimmage kick. On this particular play, we're going to miss. We got a possible block in the back, but I think it's more to the side. Right there. I think that's more the side. I think we're good there. Even though he falls forward, get your initial hit right there on the side. That would be the back judge's key. But look over here. This is a pretty egregious block below the waist that we're going to miss. This is going to go uncalled. Possibly unseen. So I hope it's unseen if we don't call it. So scrimmage kicks, even at crew of 7, there's still a lot that gets missed because a lot of, especially in high school, a lot of officials are unclear of what to look for, what not to look for, what your zone is, what your keys are. And let's just be honest, we still do a lot of ball watching at the high school level. So the back judge, once the ball is caught, the back judge relinquishes the returner. And the deep to that side that the returner chooses to return to then takes up the returner. So the deep over here, you got the wing. You got the ball carrier. He's all yours. That's your sole responsibility up until the 2-yard line. And then back judge, you're going to trail behind and just kind of pick up the slack back in here. Deep on the far side, you're watching too. You're watching all in here. So where this gets missed, umpire, you got kind of the backside, or you're watching this area. So this is probably, I don't want to say the wing, because I think several could have got it. I think the wing could get it, although he may have been watching this action here. That's probably more your R is going to watch that action. You're looking in here. It's hard for you to pick that up. He's watching through a lot of bodies. Same thing with the side judge. So I'm inclined to say wing or back judge should pick up that block below the waist. The back judge was probably watching that, so it's not gonna be easy for him to pick that up because they're almost simultaneous with each other. And then the field judge, maybe he can get it, but really the field judge has got that ball carrier, and he's got some action on the ball carrier right now as well. So it's gonna have to be your line judge or umpire. And like I said, the line judge, he could have been watching this action too. Point is, crew of 7, we're not gonna get everything. But a block below the waist, an egregious foul like that, we got to be on it. Particularly at the high school level, like I said, we still do a lot of ball watching at the high school level, and we need to get out of that habit. You need to watch where your zone is, your key is, what you're trying to watch. Just train your eyes and your brain to watch that area, even, especially if it's off ball. So that is the key pickup on this play. Alright, you don't see this a whole lot. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. They are doing a field goal from their own end zone. Don't know why. I assume maybe is a better option than punting. But we gotta know there's a lot that can go wrong with a field goal. I'm going from a officiating perspective here. I'm not criticizing the team or the coaches. They have their reasons for doing this. From an officiating perspective, you got to know there's a lot that can go wrong on a field goal attempt than on a punt. You got three different hands touching the ball instead of just two. You're closer to the line of scrimmage. The trajectory from the kick is lower, so your chance of getting blocked are lower. So we as officials need to be thinking about all that. As far as deeps and wings, you're pretty much, well, just start with the deeps. Deeps, you're pretty much going to be the same as a punt. And treat it as a punt. Crew of 6, crew of 7, treat this as a punt as far as we're concerned. Because I'd assume they have a returner back here, which, yeah, they do. So, treat that as a punt. Wings, initially, we want to be watching everything we normally watch on a punt. But be cognizant, again, like I said, a lot more can go wrong on a field goal than a punt. So we need to be thinking about that. Be prepared to crash to the goal line if need be. Referee, this is a bit of a pickle for you. Logic would tell us to be on the end line in case, there's, again, a block. But it's also a field goal attempt, so we need maybe be watching the holder. We got to be in a position where we can see the holder, make sure he's not roughed. There's no, obviously this is not covered in the mechanics manual. So this is where you just kind of got to use your feel for the game, your feel for the teams, and kind of what you think is best. But I would just say, initially set up, the mechanics are good here. Just referee, be prepared to cover the end line if need be. Wings, be prepared to crash to the goal line if you need be. And everything else, it's just basic field goal and or punt. This is legal. You can do it. It's just, there's nothing illegal about this. You can attempt a field goal from your own end zone. So it's an interesting play. Never seen it. So of course, obviously, we all want to know how this plays out. So yeah, I'll play it. Also, be cognizant too, referees. When they're doing this, I love kickers. If you watch this channel long enough, I love kickers. But we are a wee bit dramatic. So you also got to be thinking part of this is they're probably playing for roughing the kicker on this. He definitely tries to sell it there, so just going to be cognizant of that. And umpire's giving the signal, but this may have been blocked. Yeah. Job umpire giving the signal there. Yeah, deep. This is being your normal punt mechanics here. So, field judge, you would want to be on the field. Well, if he's that close to the sideline, we will be all. Well, we would want to be behind this returner, and we're just playing for the normal punt mechanics on this. I can see where they may want to be up a little bit closer because they're not expecting it to get that far. But as far as we're concerned, just prepare for normal punt mechanics. And other than this is a well officiated play once we get into reverse mechanics. Little block ball away, so there's no player there. That's legal. But yeah, it's weird. Never seen it. I hope I never see it again. Alright, that's it for this week. We'll end on that note. I have more plays, but I like to carry some over from week to week, just in case we have a week where we don't have any plays to look at. So that's it for this week. We will come back here next week. We are going to get the 7A review from last year out. Just been bogged down with not state finals. Playoff camps got bogged down that over the summer, but we are going to roll out that 7A review here soon. So just stay subscribed to the channel and notified for alerts when we post. But that is it for this week. Good luck, everyone, this week. I hope you all have a great game. I hope you all get to officiate, and we'll just keep this train rolling.